What is up, everyone? My name is Danny. Welcome to Jones Vibes, and welcome back to all of you fans of Avatar the Last Airbender. We finally have some updates to talk about. If you are unaware, San Diego Comic-Con is taking place right now as we speak. People are down there having a great time, and Avatar the Last Airbender had their own panel this morning. This was a panel to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Avatar the Last Airbender, so really exciting stuff, but a lot of us were sitting out here like, please just mention something about the series or the movie, please. And even though it wasn't much, we got something. And that's all that a guy like me could ask for. We have a first look photo of the new Earthbender series coming out, and so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the Aang movie. Not much today in terms of the Netflix live action adaptation, but you guys know as soon as news comes out for that, I will be covering it. So without further ado, let's dive into this. All right, like I mentioned, Avatar the Last Airbender had its own panel at SDCC. That's how you say it if you're cool. And to celebrate the 20th anniversary, Mike and Bryan showed up. They had some updates, and they also just had some really fun stuff to go through. Now, I followed this on Twitter. I was not at San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of this stuff just looked like a celebration event, having a good time. They brought up a lot of the voice actors from the original series. They went through the Serpent's Pass, I guess, and they did like a read-through. Just a lot of different cool things. They showcased some watercolor, some different artwork, but then they finally got to the good stuff. Yes! They dropped the first look, the first official piece of artwork from Avatar 7 Havens. It has the Avatar Pavi sitting there, and she's standing with her mentor, who is apparently named Jay. And now, if you know what this cat thing is beside her, I would really like to know what type of animal that is. What are they calling that? And is this her spirit guide? I just have a lot of questions revolving around this cat. I want to know its name. I want to know everything about it, but I also want to know everything about Pavi. This is a series about an earthbending avatar. Is Jay an earthbender? Is he teaching her some form of earthbending? What is he specializing in, as well as what is she doing? How did she lose her leg? I want to know everything. Obviously, this takes place after the Legend of Korra. Some sort of cataclysmic event happened, and now here we are. But it's just good to have some first look images, at least one first look image, because all that we've had to go off of is just kind of leaked artwork. And I always feel bad putting that on screen and being like, this is what Pavi's gonna look like, and then turns out she looks nothing like that. The leaks were right. This is exactly what Pavi looks like, and I think she looks great. I also like the little nod to Lord of the Rings on her cloak. That little pin looks very, very similar to the ones that the hobbits wear, but I don't know, based off of this image, it looks really colorful. The animation style is different. It's different than Avatar the Last Airbender. It looks more in line with maybe the Dragon Prince, which is a series that, oddly enough, I was called out for this recently, but I had never heard of. I had never heard of the Dragon Prince up until like a week and a half ago, and now I'm sort of dead set on watching it because I didn't know the connection between it and Avatar the Last Airbender, the voice actor of Sokka being the main character. Anyways, that's a lot of stuff. I'll probably end up doing reactions for that series sometime here on the channel. But as for this, really just my collected thoughts on it are that it just looks different. It looks unique. It looks like it can stand on its own. I have no idea what's going on here, but nonetheless, I'm excited. The information that they dropped with it is that the series will consist of 26 half-hour episodes over 2 seasons. It follows earthbending twins after a world-shattering disaster where one discovers she's the new avatar after Korra. And so clearly we don't see the twin yet, and so I'm curious to see what the twin looks like, and also if the twin is also in Avatar. I just feel like that's the twist that's going to happen, and I would be very excited to see that if it does in fact happen. But 26 episodes spanning the length of 2 seasons. I didn't catch within the panel if they said that these 2 seasons are it, if this is it, and it's just 26 episodes. I feel like that's kind of cool, actually. It's just very much its own thing. It's a 2-season thing, you know? You have Avatar the Last Airbender, 3 seasons, Korra, 4 seasons, and then you'd have this just being 2 seasons. I like it. I like having these little standalone stories that sort of bridge into one another, but each avatar has their own thing, and there's not a specific formula for each of them to follow, you know what I mean? But definitely go down to the comment section and let me know what you guys are thinking about this series specifically. Are you excited for it? Does it look like something you'd be interested in? Do you just want to rely on old trusty with Avatar the Last Airbender and or Korra if you're a big fan of Korra? You know what I mean? It's like, as we move towards these things, some people are just going to rely and love and stay with the old stuff, and they might might not be as into the new stuff, and that's totally fine. As a fan, I think I'm always going to be curious about what comes next and about what's new within this universe, and I'm just excited to see Mike and Bryan on stage announcing things and talking about this. Even though this wasn't an Avatar Studios panel per se, at least they're getting up there and giving us something, for God's sake. But the next bit of information really isn't much. The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, we already know most of this stuff, but they did talk a bit about it, and they said this. They said that this movie will have a really unique animation style. There is nothing that looks like this. It's 2D animation with these really beautiful deep canvas environments. It's gonna blow you away. Again, kind of just talking about the series there and the fact that they even came out and said something. This is a lot. It's great to know that this is gonna be 2D. It's great to know that they're doing this in a different way than the original series, and it's gonna be unique. It's gonna be a unique experience in theaters because this is the first theatrical project that Avatar Studios has ever released in theaters, but this is also the first time we've seen animated Avatar in theaters, and so I'm really excited. You know, the one example that I have is War for the Rohirrim, that Lord of the Rings movie that came out last year. It really flopped and nobody talked about it. I don't want to see that happen with this. I do think that Avatar the Last Airbender has a massive fan base and people that'll show up, but Lord of the Rings has a huge fan base. People love that IP, and they didn't show up for that movie, and so I feel like hopefully as we see some stuff come out with this, hopefully it's looking great so we can just get hyped about it, spread the word about it, and then we can all show up and we can all enjoy this movie. I do trust Mike and Bryan. They came up with the story that is one of my favorite stories of all time, and so I trust that they're going to follow that up with something cool. But Seven Havens looks dope as well, and I think as we move forward into the future, you know, they announced that they're going to be back at Comic-Con next year. That's going to be just months before the movie comes out, so I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot of stuff then, but I just feel like this year is going to be filled with more than we've gotten over the past couple of years. You know what I mean? We've just been relying on leaks and little tidbits of information, but now that we have this first look, at least we know the direction that we're heading, and I feel like more is to come. More is to come to get excited about. So again, my friends, let me know your thoughts on all of this down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Your opinion is always welcome around here on Jones Vibes. I also, huge announcement by the way, I didn't tell you guys, I just started my own Discord server, and I have an Avatar the Last Airbender tab on there, so head down to the description box here. I'll put the invite link there. I also put it on my community tab, so go find that Discord invite, join the Discord, and I will be posting regular updates regarding Avatar the Last Airbender. I'd love for you to join there. It's also just a great way to kind of geek out with me. It's an easier way to contact me and reach me and just like talk about all this stuff. I want this to be a community and to feel like a community as we head towards season 2 of the Netflix live action adaptation and all of this good stuff. But more than anything, I hope you guys are having a great day and keeping up the good vibes, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!